Okay, so now we are, the four directors tonight are going to share with you some of our rookie mistakes, whether it was money, loss of money, money mistakes, or time management mistakes, business mistakes, all those little things that you're just kind of like banging your head against the wall, like, what was I thinking? And so we're all just going to kind of go down a list, and I bet some of us are going to be scratching off part of our list as we each take our turns. But I want you to know that we all start from scratch. None of us had ever, ran a business before. And so, especially a cosmetic business, and where we had to build a customer base, and we all came from different backgrounds. And so we're just like you guys, we make the same mistakes. We had to build a customer, from one face at a time. And so that's why I love that we have each other to help, soften the blow when you're building to 100 customers as fast as you can. So this call is about being money savvy, business savvy, and time management savvy tonight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then we'll see who will be next. It'll be Marianne or Jennifer, and probably Trinity, because she'll probably be on last. So my first thing was one thing that I figured out. I didn't do this because I kind of figured this out along the way early on, but I noticed that I found out that some of my consultants were doing this. They didn't really understand the whole gift of purchase. And some of my consultants, when they would go to a party and the guest at that party would spend over $40, they would give them a gift with purchase. And that is not what the gift with purchase program is about, which is those cute little deluxe minis now. Because when you're at a skincare class, you're already giving a portion of, free product or whatever to your hostess, and you have time invested in that party. And so if there is time invested, you don't want to give away any more money, because the more time you're there, the less money you're per average. And so the gift with purchase is strictly for reorders, to encourage them to call you back, to be loyal to you, and to help you upsell from a reorder. The gift with purchases, those little deluxe minis on section 2. If your reorder customer, say, is at $35, if you get her up to $40, she gets a gift with purchase. And then you always make sure that you know your customer well enough to know what she's not using. If she's not using the Serum C, you want to get her on that Serum C. If she's not using the eye makeup remover, give her an eye makeup remover next time, or the microderm, or a mascara. And so that increases your ticket for that customer, so that you are building that customer, Mary Kay, head to toe, which will make that reorder business the next time larger. Okay, and so that is the nature of that gift with purchase. It is not to be given at an initial appointment, skincare class, or a facial. Okay, let's talk about out-of-town customers when you have to figure out how to get their products to them. So what I do is I get my bubble mailers from the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree, however, they do not have this size. This is the Walmart one. And so I get these from Walmart, and then I get another size from Walmart, and then I get the other two size. There's three size that I get from Dollar Tree. And I keep all those in my my supply bin for my reorder customers. Now, I never use customer delivery service unless the shipping is going to be over $6.95, okay? Because if I was going to mail a mascara or something and I did customer delivery service, I just ate up my profit. And so you can do the bubble mailer cheaper. Now, here's another thing. When you do go to the post office and they ask you, is this liquid, fragile, or perishable? You always say no. I don't care what it's, you're not sending a bomb, just say no. Because if you say yes, they're going to charge you more. And the more they charge you, it eats up your profit. Now, I'll tell you, I have a couple of out-of-town customers. Don't even ask me how I got them. One of them is in Birmingham, and all she ever orders is two deep brown eyeliners. Okay. Well, over the years, I've been sending her little samples. You can imagine trying to up that reorder when she orders because she's so consistent. I can't get her on it. Well, I stopped sending her my sales postcard because by the time I give her a sale, when I do my pink sale or my annual sale, I'm losing money. And so she doesn't get sales anymore. As many customers as I have, I know who I'm making money off of and who I have to really be careful with. Okay. And so you just have to be that savvy. And so knowing that, and of course, I've tried really hard to increase it, but I can't always. Also, the easy ship. When it first came out, something was real quirky about it, and I just blocked it. I don't have that as an option for my customer because I think some scammers can go in and do a quick easy ship with a fake card number. Mary Kay sends it out before they even notify you, and then you get a chargeback, and the product's already gone. They may have fixed it, but I'm not going to risk it. I don't really quite understand the easy ship. I want it to go through me. I have my customers' card numbers and things like that. So the customer delivery service is really great because I do have a lot of out-of-town customers that order $200 at a time. They'll restock on their Voluform kit, or they'll get all their serums and all their foundations. And I don't have a problem doing customer delivery service with that for the $6.95 because that shipping cost would be way more if I took that Voluform kit to the post office. And so knowing my postage has kept me from, eating away at some of my profit for my out-of-town customers. Also, always do your preferred customer program. That's how you build your customers. That's how you stay in front of them, so that initial appointment that you did with them is not ever wasted. Because don't just assume that they're going to remember your winning personality and stay with you forever. They'll forget you if you don't keep things in front of them, such as the 5 PCP books that we send out during the year. And then of course you're going to do your Pink Friday sale the day after Thanksgiving, and then we do our annual sale. And then if you do a Christmas card like I teach you guys, it's that building on that relationship is what keeps them loyal to you. You guys have heard me say this a million times, never, ever, ever show the lookbook at an appointment. I don't ever do that. A confused mind does nothing. There's too many choices. You can't control the sale when you're going to do all your presentation and hand them a lookbook, okay? When do I give the lookbook? I give the lookbook after their second glamour appointment. I put it in their bag. It's never there on the table. And then I only buy 1 pack of lookbooks every season. And I just keep them for those new faces after they've ordered. So if a new face, I do a facial. So let's say I did a facial this week, my big facial, $480. When I pulled her product out of my car, I put a book in there. Granted, she'd already bought everything, but now she has the Christmas book, okay? And so and I told her, this is the newest book. This won't come in the mail, but your next book will be the winter book that will come in the mail. And I explained my service. But I never, ever give anybody a lookbook at that initial party or initial appointment. It knocks your sales down to $25 versus $100 or more per face. Mm-hmm. I've seen it happen too many times. You control your sale by having a really great closing sheet. We've talked about that in other recordings that we've done. Okay, you always control that sale. Baskets, let's talk a little bit about time management. I always keep a basket on my front porch because over the years I've had some really chatty customers that I used to just spend hours on the phone, hours at my front door when they would come to pick up my products. And my house started getting messier the more kids I got. And I didn't want to, and I have these 2 double glass doors. And so they have sheer curtains on them. But my kids would swing it back and you could see all our glory, all the toys, all the, laundry that's being folded. And so I would always just say, hey, I'm going to be on a conference call. I'm going to put your products in my basket. And you can make the basket really cute. Over the years, my basket's gotten less and less cuter because we have a dog. But, you know, it's time management. I didn't have an hour to talk to somebody on my front porch. I didn't. And Mary Kay talks about that in a lot of Mary Kay's trainings, okay? Confirming appointment mistakes. You guys know, if you watch my referral video, and I always recommend that you do, I talk about, I had 17 cancellations in a row one time. And Andy just happened to hear me say, he actually heard me try to confirm an appointment. And he said, you just gave her an out, because of course she canceled. And he said, you need to change your words. And so I changed my words. And now I either text these words or I call, hey, Marianne, working on your pampering swag bag for tomorrow. Would you prefer a dramatic look, a natural look, or an everyday look? And boom, no lie, I may over the years now have 3 or 4 cancellations since I've done that. That's years. Once I changed that, I think I held 21 appointments that next December, but I had gone 17 appointments where they canceled. And so change your words and you'll change your world. You don't give them an out. I'll say that again. Hey, Marianne, I'm working on your pampering swag bag for tomorrow. Would you prefer a natural look, dramatic look, or an everyday look? Okay. And then they always text me back, I want a natural look or a dramatic look. And then I say, okay, great, thanks. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m., whatever. And so change your words. You will be porched at least once in your Mary Kay business. Let's hope that you're not 9 months pregnant and an hour and a half away on a late August day. Okay, so what is porched? Porched is after you've confirmed the appointment and coached the class, and you get to the house and they won't come to the door. Yes, that's happened. That's called porched. It's a real thing. We all laugh about it in Mary Kay. It's, you know, when you get porched, call me. You'll be part of the porch club. Okay. So, all right. Don't get trapped by a dominant hostess trying to tell you what to show at your skincare class or your theme party. No matter what you are calling it, you are doing skincare. Okay, I don't care if you're doing a pedicure party, you better be doing skincare. That's our bread and butter, and I don't care about our feet products. I don't care about our hand products. You guys know I never show satin hands. I don't care what you put on your hands, because I know that you're going to take that satin hands, you're going to put it underneath your counter, and you're never going to use it again. And everybody says this, and you guys know because we've talked about this before. Everybody, oh, y'all have that satin hands. I'm like, yes, we do. And they're like, I love it. I know you do. Where is it? It's under your sink, isn't it? Yes. Right. You don't ever reorder it. You want to start, always lead with skincare. That's your bread and butter. Okay, yeah, so even if, I'm telling you, I've gone to battle with some bossy hostesses before, but stand your ground. It is your paycheck. It's the food that you've got to put on your table. It's the mortgage that you've got to pay. All right, don't discount your products all the time. Our products are already cheaper. You guys realize that. When you look at the extended use of our products versus the dollar amount, we're cheaper than Walmart. A Walmart cleanser is $5, but a Walmart cleanser will only last 30 days. If our our cleanser is going to last 6 months and it's $24, buying a cleanser every month from Walmart is $30, and that cleanser doesn't have an exfoliant in it. It doesn't have your toner in it, and it doesn't have a brightener in it. You got to go buy all those other products separately. So you do the math. Don't discount our products. I do 2 sales, and I do a Christmas card with a $10 gift certificate. Okay. If you are new and you are having a hard time selling our products at retail, then I do the Rubberband Therapy. I used to keep a rubber band tied around my wrist because I had a hard time with people spending a lot of money because I've always been frugal. And I'll be like, oh my God, you're spending how much? Even though they're buying it for me. And I would sit there and pop myself. So I would not want to give her a discount. And if you pop yourself right there hard long enough, you're not going to say anything. Okay. You're going to let her spend the money. Get your hand out of their wallet. You do not know where someone puts their money. Okay. Where they put their value of their money. Also if you also have trouble selling or the whole one-on-one selling during the the individual close or a facial close when it's just you and that person. I came up with this. I do a $10 gift certificate for sitting down with me that initiates the selling. And then I just, don't forget, Jennifer, you have a $10 gift certificate to spend with me today. It's a thank you for trying our new products. And you can spend on anything that you want and just sit down, shut up, keep your mouth closed. The more you talk, the less you earn, okay? Because you'll talk her out of products. So that starts, the selling process for those who have, I was a little uncomfortable with the whole selling process. So $10 in free product is only $5 out of your pocket. If you are someone who did not start with products, okay, you didn't have the inventory, what I've seen happen, okay, I didn't do this, but I've seen this happen, is you go to a party, you don't have anything to give them, so you are uncomfortable with taking the money. If you don't take that money and then you take their order and then you go order it, because you still don't have the money, you're still using your money, and then you try to go back and deliver the product and to collect the money, she's not going to buy it from you. Okay. And so if you don't have product, you're just going to have to pull up your big girl panties and, say, I'm going to have it to you in a couple of days or whatever, and be uncomfortable about that, but go ahead and take the money. Okay. Take a check, take the credit card, go ahead and run it. If you are doing a payment plan, we do it like hide it from the husband plan, 3 payments, half now, 2 paychecks. Do not ever just take a card number. They can cancel that card number and you won't be able to run it, and they have your product. Especially if you have product and you leave product and they want a payment plan, you get post-dated checks, because writing a bad check is illegal. And if they got $300 worth of your products and they want, those checks, you're going to get your money. But if they gave you credit card numbers to run, during those things, they can cancel those credit cards, and more than likely you're not going to get your money, and they're not going to answer the call when you try to call and get a good credit card number. Unfortunately, we deal with people, and we deal with shady people sometimes. Okay. If you don't have product, okay, we talked about that. Please don't make customers wait too long, okay? Don't make them wait a month for their foundation and mascara. Nobody goes that long, by the way, without foundation and mascara. That is very, very poor business, and it irritates me. And when I hear that somebody made their customer wait that long, I take them. I'll say, I'll show you how to be serviced. I get irritated. They can go right around there to Walmart, Walgreens, and get another mascara, and you've lost a customer and you've made all of us look bad, okay? So order the products. Stop packing and repacking your class. Your class bag. Take a whole day and get organized. Create a checklist of, you got to have paper towels. We're going to talk about that later. You got to have your closing sheets. You got to have your sales tickets. You got to have your raffle tickets, your prizes, your roll-up bag, whatever you use. Have a bag and keep that bag packed at all times. I'm just going to show you. This is my go bag, okay? And I have another one that's on a roller, but all my main stuff fits in here. And it stays packed. It stays packed all the time in my car, and I don't have to worry about it. That has been a lifesaver. I don't have to go home, repack. I used to spend hours packing and repacking. Now, I will tell you, when I got my studio set up, I pulled some of my stuff out, and that was a big mistake. Now I've got to double everything, because I got to a party the other day and I didn't have my closing sheets. So the day that I sold $480, y'all, I did it without a closing sheet. Don't even ask me how. No closing sheet, because they were at my house. So I know the pain. I know the struggle. It's real. But learn from me. All right. Study, go to your trainings, know your stuff. We're getting ready to go to a big event in October where there's going to be 20 something national sales directors, pioneers. It blows my mind that people have not registered. It's a red flag for me. I'm just saying. The best of the best will be there. Everybody that's ever taught me will be there. I love this business and I want to be the best at it. And I've always been a sponge. And it just really shocks me when I see people that don't put in the effort for their own business, their own $1 million business that could pay them way more than that job that they're going to every single day. And so it's a little irritating that there's going to be 20 something nationals. And if we go to the beach, we got a ton of people. And it's just us. No offense, I know y'all love us, but y'all, the national sales directors that are the pioneers of this company are going to be there. These are the women that Mary Kay herself trained. That you're going to be, it's not going to be the big corporate event like seminar. You're going to be like toe to toe, belly to belly with these people. And I'll get on my soapbox, but I'm just saying it's going to be awesome. Don't skip any steps in your skincare classes. Watch Peeling the Onion Part 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it breaks down the classes so that you don't skip them. Getting sales and referrals are just as important as getting bookings and referrals are just as important as getting sales. Stop the inconsistency. Just go do it. Stop. I'm in business. I'm out of business. In business. It's exhausting. People are watching you. Be embarrassed. Be embarrassed. Okay? I'm just going to... Be embarrassed that you're in, out. Be a woman of excellence and just stay the course, okay? And see what God has planned for you. One party will not make or break you. Get the emotions out of it, okay? One party. Now, it will make or break you if it's the only party you have on your date book. I totally get that. So go get more. Don't have an unrealistic expectation of your business. You're always going to have at least 3 irons in the fire, 3 different lead generating events, opportunities to build to 100 customers. It's not going to be one thing that's going to get you there. It's going to be 3 different things. That would be being good at getting referrals, maybe being good at booking, being good at booths, being good at, Facebook parties, being good at, what else? Whatever. Facial boxes, whatever your iron is or whatever you do it, but have different avenues. And know how to look for a booth scam. There's a lot of booth scams out there, especially these ones and I've had a couple of consultants call me this week about them. And I'm like, no, that's a scam. It's all these empowering women events. And it's only going to be direct salespeople. And I have to say to y'all, okay, what would make you go there? Well, nothing. Exactly. If it was a chili cook-off, I'd be there. If it was a market day, I would be there. They're shopping. If it was a baby expo and I was pregnant, I would be there. If it was a bridal fair and I was getting married, I'd be there. When you're looking at a booth, you've got to ask yourself, what would make the general public come to this event? Okay, because a lot of times, unfortunately, the event coordinator is just taking those poor vendors' money and pocketing it. She's not using any of that registration money for advertising. It's just, and then you get there and you look around, it's all direct sales and we're all just staring at each other and nobody from the public is walking through. That's a booth scam. You've also got to know the numbers. When, I have a formula and when you call me and say, is this good? Is this not? I'm like, you got to find out how many are going to come. What was the attendees last year? What's the amount? How are they advertising? I have a formula. And then I can tell you that we pulled out of a homeschool expo last year because they jacked the price up and then they wanted to say, oh, it's only going to be X amount of people. I'm like, no thanks. That's not worth this much money. I know, because I know how many people have to be there to generate enough names for us to justify the amount of money. The best product things that I ever purchased for my business was the product carrier, insulated product carrier. The 3, it's got the big one, the lipstick, and the eyeliner, lip liner, cheek color. It's insulated. It's the best. In 18 and a half years, almost 19, I've had 2. I got a new one last year, a new 3-tier set last year. My first one lasted for 18 years. It's $200-something. Best thing I ever purchased. They last a long time, and it was my Christmas present. So Christmas is coming up. Put that on your Christmas list. Okay. All right. Who's next? Sorry. I had a lot. Who's next?
I want Jennifer to go.
Yes, Jennifer. You moved up to number 2.
That's so not nice.
Tell your story, girl. Tell your story.
Oh, okay. First of all, I want to confirm or reaffirm things that Michelle said, because it's one thing when you hear one person say it. Hopefully it means a little bit more when somebody else says amen. And the insulated bags, I always tell everyone, whether or not you get them all, that's up to you. But I got the one with the cute, it has the trays for the eyeshadows and cheek colors. That will make your life sane, trying to sell product and have what you need and get to it fast, especially when you can take that whole cube, throw it in the back of your car, go to an appointment. And when you finish a class and you want to be able to get your stuff to them quickly, because you're tired too and want to go home,
Mm-hmm.
this allows you to get to what you need fast. And thankfully, I have the world's greatest office assistant. Everybody feel free to be jealous, but she is the bomb. Or before that, though, before I had Ashley, then I would always do my own inventory, and doing inventory each month to make sure I had what I needed to go forward was easy. Going through that cube, just be really quick what I had, what I didn't have, what I need to reorder. So those insulated things are worth every dime you put into it. And I heeded the warning of or advice of Michelle and got mine early on, my first year working my business. And here we are 11 years and I have the same 2 pieces. They've lasted the whole time. So they've been amazing. Something else I was going to amen that you said. I tried to make notes. One thing I wanted to say before I get to my story was listening to things that Michelle said. I thought when you said about selling, sometimes it's tricky in your mind to take the money. What was tricky for me was how to upsell, because I thought, I guess it just has that negative connotation on upselling, and I didn't want to be that girl. And so I had to ask myself, well, at the end of the appointment, what happens, we go through so many things. Sometimes it's not necessarily upselling, just to remind her of some things that you did early on. And so it made me feel better about doing that at the end of the appointment when you do that individual close, to ask the question, well, what about, until she said no. Once she said no, then I wouldn't ask anymore. But sometimes, like when you do oil-free eye early on in your skincare appointment, then that might be something that is not in that general set, or if she was just getting the basic and she wasn't getting the oil-free eye from me as a gift for the miracle or something like that, then I would say, well, what about that oil-free eye? I didn't want you to forget about that, if that was something you were interested in. And then she'd say, oh, yes, thank you so much. I would have been disappointed if I got home and didn't have it. So then I would add that to the ticket. And then I would think of one more thing to ask. Well, I didn't want to forget about the satin hands. So if that was something you were interested in, if she said, well, I'm going to wait on that one, maybe at the next appointment, I'm going to get that later, then that's at that point, I wouldn't ask her anything else. But if she said, I totally forgot, I'd find one more thing to say. Well, I didn't want to forget about the charcoal mask because that's not in your skincare set. Is that something you were interested in tonight? And if she said no at that point, then I would stop. So hopefully that helps you too, about at that individual close, for you to forget either, to remind her of things that you did early on in the appointment, because she may very well add that to the ticket. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So my story that Mary Ann can't wait for me to share. I do share it a lot. My girls know this story. Is that when that sassy blonde drove 3 hours to come have a skincare party in my town and shared this business opportunity with me, when we sat down and she had worked on what inventory ideas would be great for me running my business. She was really smart. When she sat down with me and my cousin Ashley, she told my cousin Ashley that because she already had a shop, a beauty shop, and she already had a clientele that would come to her for that. But I had been at home for a year being a mom and had stepped away from my career in order to do that. And so she showed an inventory option for Ashley that she thought would be really good for her because she already had clientele coming to her. But she didn't yet quite know, or maybe she did know who was sitting there. And then she looked at me and said, "But Jennifer, I think this smaller one would be more ideal for you because you've been at home for a year and you're going to have to work a little bit harder to get out there." And so in my mind, I thought, she thinks my cousin Ashley is going to be better than me. And so I said, "No, I'm not starting with that one. I'll take that big one. I'll take that full." So the whole point to say is that my competitive nature got me in to a full store early on and so I did start with a full set or a full store. I started my business. That competitive nature had sidestepped when Michelle came to my house to go over that inventory and what was I going to, how was I going to pay for that? Then I wasn't so competitive that day. I was thinking, oh, what have I done? And I remember how my hand shook to go over to the computer and hit submit because I had sidestepped my career in order to come home to be a mom. We didn't owe any money on credit cards at the time. And I didn't have, X dollars in the savings account to pay for a full store. It was an investment. It was a leap of faith. And I'll never forget Michelle grabbing my hand, as shaky as it was, going to hit submit. And she grabbed it and she said, "Jennifer, it's just as important to me for you to be successful as it is to you. And I'm not going to leave you." And so she stood by that, every bit of the word, that whole, getting to where we are. But the point is that I didn't not necessarily put it on a 0% credit card because at the time I didn't have one, but we did have a credit card that had a very low interest rate. Okay. That ended up playing in my favor. Now, if you have the opportunity to have a 0% interest or 0% interest credit card, and you can make an investment in your business, then that's even better. But for me at the time, I didn't. But it was a low interest credit card, and so I did go and make that investment. I took that leap of faith, and I told myself that I had a year, because Mary Kay's promise of 90% money back, guarantee if I decided that this wasn't for me. And so I rested my laurels on that. But when the sea of Mary Kay came into my home and all of those shipment boxes, and I unpacked it all into my living room, I thought, oh no, what have I done? And I had not had the courage to tell my daddy what I was, right? Because I was a married woman at the time, but my daddy came into the living room at that point and he said, "What have you done?" And I said, "Well, Daddy, I've decided that I'm going to go in business for myself and I'm going to sell lipstick and skincare." And I just knew my daddy was fixing to take my head off and tell me all the reasons why I had lost my mind. Instead, my daddy, being very business savvy, said, "I think that's a great idea. You're going to be great." Yeah. But it stunned me. But it also gave me the confidence that if my daddy could see that, then what in the world was standing in my way? So what I said about the credit card being a low interest rate played off in my favor was because that was yet one more thing that pushed me out the door to get over my fears. One fear for me was that I had not really ever done anything that I wasn't good at. That sounds snotty. I don't mean it to sound snotty. It just means that I had worked really hard to be proficient, what in my mind's eye, confident in the career that I had done before in teaching. And I knew that I had worked hard and I was good at it. You have to confidence in yourself. But this was something that where you go and you get your training in the field. And so that means you have to go out there not quite as confident initially. And so I had to get over that fear, but there were things that were pushing me out the door. Knowing that that money was on a credit card, drawing interest, got me out the door because I knew I needed to pay it off. The other thing that got me out the door is I didn't want people to know that I had failed at something, because I had never done that before. And every day, the biggest thing was looking at my son. And I wanted to be able to say that I could stay at home with him for as long as I wanted to, and Mary Kay was my ticket to do that. And so I went out and got to work. So here's the thing, is that was in October. I signed my agreement on my cousin Ashley that Michelle talked to too, on her birthday, October 14th. I signed my agreement that day. And so I held one party in November with my cousin Ashley. I held another party in December, or two parties in November, a party in December, and got my first teammate. And so at that point, started to sell just little bits, but it was all about getting over those fears initially. So I was not one of those people who came out of the door like a racehorse, but because I was needing to grow my confidence and grow my skills a little bit. And I really encourage people not to do it the way I did. You've got to just get out there and do it, and it will happen faster. But when January rolled around, it was time to file my taxes. And so I went to file my taxes with a certified public accountant. She knew her small business. She knew Mary Kay. And the number one question to ask a tax person is, can you tell me the difference between Section 1 and Section 2? If they can't, turn around and go out the door. Say thank you for your time and go out the door. But they have to really understand the difference between Section 1 and Section 2. Well, she was a family friend of mine, and we had gone to church together many, many years, so I knew that I could trust her to tell me the truth. And so when I signed in Mary Kay, I went to her and said, well, this is what I've done. And she said, you've made one of the smartest decisions that you could possibly make, on the cuff of, or on the coattails of, deciding to come home and walk away from your career. This is going to help you big time in taxes. So when January rolled around, I went back in and said, okay, it's time to show me what you were talking about. And I had saved things and we show our personal use, show the things we'd given away to build our business, show the things that we use in our business. Our miles are huge. I had calculated all of these things I do every year. And my tax return as a school teacher and my husband working for Penske was about $2,500 each year. My first tax return that year was over $7,000. The first phone call I made was to Michelle. And I said, guess who paid off her inventory today? And she cheered with me because it paid off everything that I had invested into my business at that point, and I was ready to go. The neat thing about that low interest credit card was it was my Disney Chase card. And my Disney Chase card built points. And so I'd earned points for everything I invested into the business. Then I turned around and paid it off. But at that point, I worked my business from that card. And so every month I would pay it off. This for the first year, 2 years of this business, I'd order what I need on the card. I'd pay it off by the end of the month. I'd reorder what I needed to stock on my shelves and work my business, and I'd pay it off. So every month I was building points. Everybody nod? Okay. And so at that point, I was building points that I turned around and ended up paying for Sam's first trip to Disney with. And so I'll never forget, it was a huge celebration to take Sam to Disney for the first time, but it honestly was a bigger celebration to know that I had worked my business and Mary Kay had paid for my family to go to Disney for the first time all together. And so that's how you can use your business smart and turn those tax refunds. You know, I always tell my consultants, I've taught many tax classes off of what Michelle taught me early on, about how to always go in, and when you get that refund, you owe it to your business. You owe it to yourself to say, what part of my tax refund is a direct reflection of my Mary Kay business? Now, I have an excellent consultant in my unit at this time, has been with me almost the whole 11 years. And I know for a fact that when that's how I signed her. When I finally said, you know, you need to think about doing this, because every year she was paying the government money. And I said, when you get tired of doing that, when you get tired of having to pay taxes each year, let me know, because I have an out for you. And she has not paid 1 year since. She has always gotten a refund. She doesn't blow this business up, like she's not become a sales director. She hasn't earned a car. But she's worked this business consistently enough to make sure that she got a refund back every year for her family. And I know our tax accountant has told her, don't ever give up on Mary Kay. Don't ever close the doors to your business, or you would go back to paying. And so our business pays us with working it. It pays us with refunds. It pays our family in great rewards. And so that's my financial put for tonight. I hope that helps.
Yes, it was awesome. Very good. All right. Who's next? Marianne? Wasn't that awesome?
Like, I'm ready to go to bed. That was great. I think the only thing that I could add to all of this is that it's business savvy to coach your appointments. Because if you don't coach them, they'll cancel. You know, I remember there were some times where I would just like forget, or like not, I mean, I might write it down, but not look at my calendar. So just, I had some discipline issues, some management issues. And then, you know, I would be like so excited about my 3 appointments for the week. I mean, I'm like, I was so excited, and I was still excited. I was so excited. I just didn't coach them. And then they canceled, and I didn't have anything. And that made me mad. And so, you know, the sooner you learn that lesson, the better. And then also, how will you follow up? You know, I naturally was not an organized person, so this has taught me how to be organized for myself. So now and your systems will change with your time and your season and your family. So with all these children and all this stuff, me personally, stuff that I need to remember, I put it on a reminder note on my phone with an alarm set for a day and time. And then I also, on my, you know, daily calendar that has a day for each day, like if I'm supposed to follow up with someone to get their guest list 2 days from now, I flip 2 days forward, and in my phone contact section, I put call so-and-so for their contact. So when I open up that Wednesday morning, I'm like, what am I doing today? Oh, I'm calling so-and-so. I would not have remembered that for 48 hours. You cannot keep it all in your brain. And so being disciplined to write that down, however that works for you, and then being disciplined to look at it. Because if you don't look at your list all day, it won't work. So that's mostly for our work from home people. I think it was a whole new animal once I came home after I quit teaching, of training myself to work when I had more time to work. So those were the big things.
Very good. All right, Trinity and Letty.
Hey, I'm just going to add a very quick, along with the coaching the class, whenever you're making goodie bags for your customers that you're going to be seeing at parties. I love to make goodie bags. I will sit down and I'll watch my favorite TV show, The Bachelorette, and I will make these goodie bags while I'm sitting there working really hard, watching The Bachelorette. So a tip is don't use chocolate, because chocolate melts in the car. That. Put a little piece of candy in there, like a sucker, and there's a Smartie. Do 1 piece of candy, an eyeshadow, a lip color, and a business card. And I only give these out if someone is giving me their phone number, if I'm warm chatting with them, and which I don't do. So that normally, if you are warm chatting with someone, get their phone number, and you get this little goodie bag goes to them. Or if I'm coaching a party and I'm going to actually be seeing them at a party, putting product on their face, I don't just give these out like candy on Halloween, because I spent money on this. So I literally give them out to people if I'm getting something back from them. So if I'm getting their phone number in a person-to-person situation, or vice versa. I had a vendor event a couple years ago, and I kept this bag because I just wanted to show people how crazy it was. 2 years ago, this girl was the vendor right next to me, and she sold paparazzi. I did not buy anything from her. I have a paparazzi consultant. She gave me their company bag that she spent money on, and it blew my mind. Paparazzi is jewelry, if you guys don't know. Some little pamphlet. She has like 15 pieces of candy in here. All kinds of information about how to make your jewelry last longer. She made copies of that. this is what type of about their business, how to wear your jewelry. I mean, it's just crazy. All kinds of cards. There's some samples in there, and I didn't buy anything from this girl. So she just gave me this like $5 goodie bag for no reason. Does that make sense? So make sure your goodie bags cost you 25 cents from the Dollar Tree. Little goodie bags for 25, a pack of 25, a business card, a candy, and you could put a color card in there or something like that. But be really savvy with that, because they can add up, and you can get excited going on Amazon, and you start to see all the flashy things, and you're like, oh, I need all these things, but then you start to total it up, and it costs a lot. Another fun fact is that if you don't know, we get a discount at Office Depot. I'll send that card over on the Buyers Believers box, but for copies, lamination, any kind of things like that, it is an insane amount. The employees don't even get as good of a discount as we do. The employee there is always like, this card is gold, don't lose it. So whenever you make copies, go to Office Depot, and it's an insane discount that you can get there too. So those are my 2 cents.
Awesome. All right. So guys, thank you for calling in tonight. I know that we're behind, but this was some good stuff. We wanted you to, to really watch your money, watch your time, and, just keep plugging along and being profitable in your business. So, directors, thank you for sharing, and we will see you guys next week. Good night. This is recorded, by the way. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.